Whether you deal with chronic illness, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, or all the above, like I do, I'm here to give you some life hacks to consider bringing into your daily, weekly, and monthly routines. All of these have really helped me. If you deal with any kind of chronic condition, usually fatigue and exhaustion are really big issues. Even if you suffer with chronic pain, living in a continuous state of pain literally will exhaust your body to the extreme. You'll be drained of all energy because you're constantly having to deal with the pain. It is so important that we learn to conserve our energy where we can. Here are 8 life hacks to help you in your day-to-day life. Make sure you stay to the end to find out my very simple and easy life hack that helps me wake up and literally will keep my eyes awake. Every single item that I will mention will be linked down below, and all except one can be found on Amazon. If you would like to support me, clicking on those affiliate links is a fantastic way to do so. If you would like to be part of our family here, then make sure you click that subscribe, as well as like and share to whoever you feel needs to hear this. Number 1, plan your baths and your showers. Sometimes it is very counterproductive to have a shower in the mornings. Some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, it's so gross. Imagine not having a shower when you wake up. But when a simple activity like that spends all your energy and forces you back into bed, even sometimes for the entire day, it becomes extremely difficult to come out of that mini flare that day because of the shower that you had. I personally have had that happen a lot. I've actually had to change my daily routine because I can go and wash my hair and that will literally be it done for the day, like in bed, not being able to get out for the entire day just because I washed my hair. I've actually heard that some people find it easier to bathe in the evenings because then they can go to bed after and kind of have a nice deep sleep. Whatever works for you. You know, only you know your energy levels. So find a time that suits you. Don't go off what society says that, you know, you have to have a shower first thing in the morning or whatever. As long as you are aiming to wash every day, even if maybe you're having a really bad flare, even if you use a washcloth and do it that way. Because honestly, if you are having a particularly sick day, and you can't even make it into the shower, then do not put yourself on a guilt trip because it happens to a lot of us actually. You know, if you've not washed your hair for like 5, 6, 7 days, sometimes even longer, you know, this is why they made dry shampoo for a reason. I know I say that with a little bit of humor, but I've been there when I have not had the energy. I've been too sick to wash my hair and it can be like 7 days. Now, this one is my usual one. It's cheaper. It has a dark mask. I don't know if you've ever used dry shampoo like years and years ago when they just had like one kind, but if you had darker hair, the spray would kind of leave like a white cast and it would be all over your hair. So it's very hard for people like me. And even my hair back then was like almost like black violet. So it showed up really a lot. But this is the one that I use. It's great. It's super affordable. It works really well. It smells great. I feel like this brand, Batiste, I feel like this brand improves their products like over and over again because this now is really good. For the days where you can drag yourself into the bath or the shower, I particularly am fond of the Dr. Teals foaming bath. It's the Soothe and Sleep. It's like liquid Epsom salt. This one is the lavender one, and you will have heard me recommend this product a few times on my channel. I have tried many different bath products from the very expensive to the very cheap. This is really affordable, and you're getting like a liter, which I think is really good. You only need a small amount when you put it in the bath. This is really good to have at night if you are going to sleep, hence the name Soothe and Sleep, although I have used it during the day too. It also comes in eucalyptus, where it's more like energizing, and that's a really great soak to use after the gym or if you want to feel more invigorated for your day. These aren't just for the bath, even though I think you probably get the most out of it if you use it in a bath. You can also use it in the shower as well. I would love to know from you guys if you have any recommendations for like items you use in the bath or the shower, especially if you are chronically ill or you struggle with fatigue. I would love to know. I'm always looking for new products to use and to try. So let me know down below if you have any bath or shower recommendations. Now this might just relate to the ladies. Learn how to do your own gel nails. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, okay, Tori, why are you talking about gel nails? They can last 3 weeks, maybe even up to 4 weeks at a push if you take care of them well. So that means you only have to do your nails once every few weeks. And this means you save yourself energy. You may have to use the energy to do them yourself in your own home, but the bright side is you don't have to actually use energy to get into your car and drive and sit and wait. You can do it on your own time. So make sure you plan to do it when you feel like you have enough energy. I know to other people, they're probably thinking, okay, you're just sitting and doing nails. It can't be that exhausting, but it is. If you are sitting having to concentrate and do an actual task, sometimes even that alone is a lot and you can get exhausted. But the main thing about you actually doing your own nails is that you are in control. You get to do it when you feel the energy and when you want to. You're not having to keep to a certain appointment time and drive even if you feel sick. People will say what they want about gels. Like, I have personally found that they do an amazing job of protecting my nails. I have not found that they make my nails feel weak at all or they make them extremely thin. Quite the opposite, actually. I used to never be able to have longer nails because they would always break off. But gels have been the only way that I have found to protect them and keep them healthy and longer. Now, another upside to doing your own gel nails is that it will, in the long run, save you money, which is always a good thing. I will link a couple of UV nail lamps. I personally use the Miley Pro. I have used another one before that was good. So I will link them both down below. They're at different price points. One's a little bit cheaper, but usually you can get either of them on pretty good deals. I'll be honest, it was a nice distraction learning to do something new for myself that was actually positive and also creative. I only do it for myself and also for my mom, but it's another creative outlet for me and I really enjoy it. And when you are dealing with a chronic illness, having something positive to distract yourself or a new skill to learn, it hugely helps. 10 out of 10 would agree that learning new skills is a must, especially if you are stuck at home. My next tip actually comes quite nicely from the last one. And again, this might only relate to ladies, although men can do this too if they so wish. If you know how or you're able to, why don't you learn how to wax yourself? Now, I'm not talking about waxing down there. I always think a professional is needed for that. I've heard some horror stories and I ain't about that. But if you are someone who needs regular facial waxing, or you like to wax your arms or your legs or your armpits, why not, if you can do it safely, why not learn to do it yourself? It has the same benefits as we talked about in the last point. You save money, you conserve energy, because, getting dressed, having to get in your car and go to the beauty salon, that in itself can be so tiring, especially if you're going through a flare-up. And I don't know about you, but going to get waxed can sometimes be enough to put me back into bed for the entire day, having to exert myself that much. It's not like you're going to a spa and going to have some nice relaxing massaging or nice treatments. You're literally going to get waxed. And we all know that we voluntarily inflict that kind of pain on ourselves. Again, if you want recommendations for good home waxing kits, I have tried a few different waxes as well as this amazing kit that I use, and I will link it down below. I've had this particular kit for at least 3 years, maybe even 3.5 years now, and it's lasted amazingly well, and it's still really good now. I've also found this really beautiful aloe vera wax, which I will also link. You can also get it from Amazon. But again, huge disclosure, make sure you know how to use this equipment before you attempt to do anything. Make sure you know exactly what you are doing, and definitely, unless you are a trained beautician, do not go waxing yourself anywhere down there. This brings me nicely onto the next life hack. So we're going to be talking about hair. For us longer haired people, and I don't have super long hair anymore. I used to. But for those of you who have chronic conditions, am I the only one who has nightmares about drying my hair after I've washed it? No joke. I physically get anxious about having to wash my hair, dry it, style it, because I know how much hard work it is. And I really legit have to plan my week around it. I really have to be strategic as to when I wash and dry and style my hair. I really have to plan it into my week, or else I could easily wear my hair up in a messy bun for the next 48 years. But when it comes to hair, this is where investing into different gadgets to do the hard work for you is so important. I have personally used the Revlon, it's like a hot brush. It's like a drying brush. Basically, it's a hair dryer and a heated brush all in one. It doesn't turn because I've heard that those can grab on to your hair and rip it out. This one you do have to work yourself, but you're not having to use a hair dryer and a brush. So I don't know about you, but that is terrifying to me because of how exhausting it is. I can literally sit and switch this on and just dry my hair slowly. So if that is an issue for you and you're looking for like a 2-in-1 option, this one's actually really good. I'm also excited to one day try the GHD Hair Duet or the Hot Brush. Let me know if you've tried either one of those down below. I have heard many good things about them, so I would be interested if anyone else has actually used them. Now, I've also used the GHD Platinum Plus hair straighteners as well for many years. And with these, I can not only straighten my hair, but I can curl it too, like I have now. The other reason why I particularly like the GHD Platinum Plus is they have an auto turn off function, which actually works because I have actually a few times left my hair straighteners on, especially if I have fallen asleep afterwards. So they do auto turn off after a certain time. Recently, I've also gotten the Cloud 9 hair straighteners as well, just to try them. And I actually really like them too. They're slightly cheaper than the GHD Platinum Plus, and they're also lighter to hold, which is nice. They also have an auto off function as well. But the reason why I particularly like the Cloud 9s is because you can control the temperature with which you heat your hair. So I think the max is like 220, which you don't want to ever go near. 200 is pushing it. I like to stay around the 180 mark. But you know, when I've been on a lot of medication, my hair has been extremely damaged and almost dead. And when that happens, I always like to use a much lower heat to try and protect my hair for as long as possible. Another mini thing to go in with the hair is there have been times where I have missed going to get my hair done. I do get it colored now. When I started going on medication, I found that I was going gray really fast. Even though I was getting a few grays before, my dad actually went silver very young, so maybe that's in the genes, but you know, Nick, of course, 38 years old, doesn't have a gray hair on him, but I do. There were quite a few times where I've had to miss getting my hair done because I was sick. I just come out of hospital. I was having a flare up. I couldn't travel. And so when that has happened, this little root spray from L'Oreal called Magic Retouch, you can get it off Amazon. It's extremely cheap. I believe this was also used as a dupe to create like fake freckles, but I would not recommend that. This is really good as a root spray. Very good indeed. It's super affordable and it works really well. Make sure you get the color that you need. I have this in dark brown as well as just brown, and it works great, especially if you are struggling with grays or you've got really like obvious roots and you can't get your hair done just yet because of health reasons. This is really good. Number 5, keeping cool. Now, if you are someone who deals with chronic inflammation of any kind, or you have an autoimmune disease, you may find that you are warm a lot of the time. I know for me in particular, I get really bad hot flushes. No, I'm not on my menopause. I'm not that old yet. But I do get these really weird hot flushes or like weird fevers that can just happen out of nowhere. Like half of my face will swell up. I also can really struggle breathing at night. And a lot of times having a good quality fan that blows gently, like cool air into your kind of space can really help you breathe easier and also cool off. Now, I have done all the hard work for you guys. I've tried like 3 or 4 fans from Amazon and I have had major issues with all of them but one. I found this brand called Eco Air and I love it. I love this fan so much that we literally have 5 of these big fans in our house because everyone thinks that they're amazing and everyone in my family wanted one too. Now, what's great is it comes with a really good quality remote that I can have next to my bed so I can turn the fan on and off. I can turn it up or I can actually move the fan around if that's what I want. Now, the fan is pretty much silent on the lower speed and you really only need to use speed 1 to 3. It does start getting louder after that and actually goes up to 12, and I've never had to go up to 12. I think the max I've gone up to is actually 4. But the reason why it was so important for me to have a quiet fan is because I have a fan on most nights from like beginning of spring to like the beginning of winter, like almost throughout the entire year, aside from maybe a few months. I will have a fan on because it just helps to give me air when I sleep and also cool me down. Now, trust me when I say that I have tried many fans on Amazon. And a lot of them are just like janky. It really is a decent price for the quality. I've had mine for over a year now and it still works amazingly well. It actually still seems new. Now, this next life hack is super important, so listen closely. Doing small improvements to your environment can really help change your day around if you're chronically sick or if you're going through a flare-up. And this is especially true if you spend a lot of time in bed. Now, I spent years locked up in my room because I was so sick and I could not get out of bed. Like, I'm talking literal years. I'm not just saying to be like dramatic, gosh, for at least maybe 4 or 5 years. So it is really crucial to make sure you can improve your environment wherever you can. Now, in the last couple of years, I've really fallen in love with a brand called Govee, and they do RGB lights. And they do everything from strip lights to light bars to cool smart lamps to whatever you want. And my favorite thing ever is my Govee Aura smart lamp, which you can see here. I will put a demonstration for you. This product is like having a light show in a lamp. It is phenomenal and I love it so much. I would not be without it. There's so many different like modes and ways you can sync it up to like music, and it's really cool. And the great thing about using the Govee products and the Govee app is that I can link all of the lights up that I have in each of my rooms. And if I'm in bed, I can literally turn them off and on with a press on the app. I don't ever have to roll out of bed to switch anything off. And if you are someone who deals with like movement issues or chronic pain, it means the world when you don't have to shift or move out of a comfortable position that you finally found for yourself. Like, it's so nice just to be able to go on the app and switch it off instead of having to risk moving and being in more pain. Please do not underestimate how lighting can affect your mood and also can change the environment around you. I've done a great video on different ways that you can change a bad day into a better day by helping to stimulate your 5 senses. I'll put a link to that right here. Whether you're forced to stay in bed or not, it could be for a day, it could be for a week, it could be for months. But you can choose what kind of environment you have to stay in. Number 7, maybe you're like me and you suffer with brain fog. Actually, hold up. I've been asked this question a lot, okay? What is brain fog? Because a lot of people throw that term around, but not a lot of people know what it means. So I found a brief explanation of what brain fog is for you guys. And brain fog itself is not a medical condition on its own. It's more of a symptom. It's a type of cognitive dysfunction, which involves memory problems, a lack of mental clarity, poor concentration, and an inability to focus. Now, some people can describe this as mental fatigue. Depending on the severity of your brain fog, it can interfere with work or with school, but it does not have to be a permanent fixture in your life, and there are ways that you can help it. Now, I have suffered really badly with brain fog, and I still do have many memory issues. I also can find it very hard sometimes to process information or repeat information back. This is where this next life hack comes in. It's so simple. You're probably going to laugh at me, but you need to arm yourself with good organizational goodies and a plethora of Post-it notes. Hear me out, please. They come in a variety. You can get small notes, large notes. You can get notes with lines on them. It's really good to have a different variety so that it's not just the same note that you're seeing, because it will actually help you remember certain things as well. Like if I wrote a piece of information on like a heart note, I will probably recall that easier than if I wrote everything on just a square note for everything. It would be a lot easier to differentiate between different types of information based on the type of note I write it on. You might be thinking, okay, Tori, you are thinking way too much into this. No, but I've really tried this and it does help if you suffer with brain fog. Now, I am an office supply fiend, like actually. You might think that Post-it notes are expensive for what they are, but I have tried many different types of branded notes. And let's be honest, when you write something on a note that you're trying to stick somewhere, you want it to stay there. You want it to actually stick. And genuine Post-it notes will actually stay when you stick them to something. Because writing notes on something that's just going to fall down is just completely pointless. They actually last a long time and they actually work for the use that they were intended for. Again, I recommend finding a variety of different colors and shapes and types of notes to help jog your memory about different pieces of information that you are writing down. I will put some of my favorites, because y'all know that I do have my favorites, down below. So the next life hack is what you've all been waiting for. This is going to be unexpected, I think. But it's been specifically helping me feel more awake by helping my eyes feel less heavy and less tired. By using this product, it's like I can fake it for a while if I'm editing or I'm having to film and maybe I've not been able to get a lot of sleep. I feel more energized and more able to do things because of this product. It is very simple, it is very effective, and it is under eye cooling pads. Yes, you heard me. These are magical. You get a ton in this. I've had this for, I feel like a year, and I think I'm only halfway through. I can't explain it, or maybe I can, but when I'm having a day when I am filming content, what I'll do is while I'm doing my hair and like curling it, I will put these bad boys on under my eyes and leave them there for like an hour. Not only do they make you feel less sleepy, they really like help to make your eyes feel more awake, but they take the puffiness away from under your eyes, which is, I think, what we all want. Now, I personally use a brand called Artistry. And I have used this brand for many, many, many years. A lot of people ask me, Tori, why do you look so young? I'm 35 years old and I would say I have pretty decent skin. And it's because from a very young age, my mom taught me even at the age of 12 how important skincare was. And I have used artistry since I was 12 years old. That is why I feel like I look as young as I do. Now, there are many different types of under eye pads, different flavors, different brands. They're all out there, and I'm sure there are a lot of them that are very, very, very good. I just personally use the artistry ones. Another reason why I like this particular type is because they feel ice cold to me. I mentioned this before, but I sometimes get these really weird hot flushes, and just having a product that can go on, even if it's just under here and feel ice cold, it really does help to soothe everything, and I don't feel as like red hot. And another great effect on this is it literally depuffs, as it says, and everyone loves to have less puffy eyes. So I really highly recommend using this little hack if you struggle with tiredness, heavy eyes, or a really hot swollen face. Another little tool to go with this life hack is using ice rollers. Now these can be great, especially if you're like me and you get really hot swelling flushes. I have particularly found them useful in the hotter months where, you know, if you live in England, we're going through a heat wave and houses don't have any ACs. So you try and cool off any way that you can. A lot of you know, because of my chronic migraines and neurological issues, I get different injections. So I get like just under 40 injections every 12 weeks. And what happens is in the first week of having them, it'll literally feel like my head is being cooked from the inside out. Like I'll get extremely hot. So it really helps having tools that can help to cool off everything and cool off my skin. I hope you have found at least one of these hacks useful and something you can bring into your daily, weekly, or monthly routines. If you have any questions about any of the hacks that I have talked about today, then make sure you let me know down below. If you have any hacks yourself that you use, I'm always looking for new ideas to try, so make sure you comment them, please. If you would like to hear more about my personal chronic illness, chronic pain, and chronic fatigue story, then I will definitely put the link here for you to have a look at.